Thank the member for Bass. The question is that the bill be now read a second time, and I call the member for Flynn.
Thank you, Deputy Speaker. I would just like to begin and take the opportunity to tell you, Deputy Speaker, that this is my first opportunity to speak after my maiden speech earlier last week. What we have seen tonight, Deputy Speaker, is an appalling display of arrogance by the Labor government in guillotining this debate on a very, very important issue. It is an attack on democracy of Australia. The people of Australia put people like me here to speak on these things, and for the Labor government to guillotine this debate by calling it an emergency bill is just absolutely appalling. Having said that, I rise to oppose the Social Security Administration Amendment, repeal of the Cashless Debit Card and other measures Bill 2022. As of the 1st of July 2022, there were 17,795 participants using the Cashless Debit Card. The Cashless Debit Card looks and operates like a regular bank card. It cannot be used to buy alcohol, gambling products, some gift cards or to withdraw cash. 80% of the recipient's welfare payment is quarantined into the card. The remaining 20% of the recipient's social security payments are transferred into the recipient's bank account and can be withdrawn and used without restriction. The Cashless Debit Card was an important recommendation in the Forest Review report creating parity as a means of reducing social harm caused by welfare-fuelled alcohol, gambling and drug abuse. Mr Deputy Speaker, evaluations of the Cashless Debit Card show the program is working. The first independent valuation released in late 2017 showed that the card has shown considerable positive impact in the initial trial sites, including 41% of participants surveyed who drank alcohol reported less drinking. 48% of participants surveyed who used drugs reported using drugs less frequency, and 48% of those who gambled before the trial reported gambling less often. Mr Deputy Speaker, there have been more than a dozen evaluations of the Cashless Debit Card that have provided consistent evidence about welfare quarantining policies that show decreases in drug and alcohol issues, decreases in crime, violence and antisocial behaviour, improvements in child health and well-being, improved financial management and ongoing and even strengthened community support. In January 2021, the evaluation of the Cashless Debit Card, the CDC, was released after research was conducted by the Future of Employment and Skills Research Centre at the Faculty of the University of Adelaide. The evaluation was extensive, with quantitative survey contacting 4,424 CDC participants and receiving 2,041 responses. Mr Deputy Speaker, I wanted to use some of the time today's speech to specifically mention some of the key findings in this evaluation. The evaluation found that alcohol consumption was reported to have been reduced since the introduction of the Cashless Debit Card, between 1/3 and half for the Cashless Debit Card participants who drink. Reported frequency of drinking was down by 11%. The amount of drinking was down by 14%, and both frequency and the amount were down by 11%. Around 20% of all Cashless Debit Card participants reported that Cashless Debit Card had helped decrease illicit drug use for themselves, family, friends, community in all trial sites. 1 in 5 Cashless Debit Card participants reported that the Cashless Debit Card has helped reduce gambling problems in at least one of the following dimensions: for themselves, for their family, for their friends and where they live. Cash previously used for gambling was directed towards spending on essentials such as food. This evaluation proves that the Cashless Debit Card has helped address long-standing issues in their communities. Mr Deputy Speaker, what I want to know is how the Labor government will help people in their communities if the Cashless Debit program is removed. Quite simply, what is their alternative? How do they plan to address the complex social issues that each of the cashless debit card trial sites face? Mr Deputy Speaker, I also want what I want answered is what the Labor government intends to do with the job programs that help individuals into work, including cashless debit card participants. Just this year, the former coalition government opened for proposals for new projects that will provide employment and training opportunities for cashless debit card participants within their communities. The $10 million Jobs and Infrastructure Open Competitive Grant opportunity was part of the former coalition government's $30 million Job Ready package. The grant opportunity was to fund infrastructure projects, other support services that provided cashless debit card participants with training and job opportunities. The funding round was responding to the feedback from communities who were seeking to be empowered to create jobs that will help break the cycle of welfare dependence and support their communities to thrive. Once again, what does the Labor government intend to do with these programs? Nobody knows, Mr Deputy Speaker. If the government put aside its ideological opposition to the cashless debit card, it would again hear firsthand how the cashless debit card is making a real positive difference in these communities. For any major reforms, community consultation is critical. Community consultation enables communities to articulate their own concerns and identify the appropriate responses and solutions to problems that affect them. Do I believe that the Labor government has completed extensive community consultation? The answer is no, Mr Deputy Speaker. I do believe the new Social Services Minister has, or do I believe that the new Social Services Minister has gone to the communities that have participated in the program, speaking to them how the cashless debit card has helped address social issues of their communities, including alcohol abuse, illicit drug abuse and gambling? And the answer to that is no. Quite frankly, is the Labor government willing to see social issues worsen in these communities if the cashless debit card is scrapped? This is something that I believe will be happy if this bill passes. Deputy Speaker, in conclusion, I want to mention a section of Senator Price's maiden speech. Senator Price is a proud Territorian and Australian, former business owner, former Director of Indigenous Research at the Centre for Independent Studies. Senator Price said the removal of the cashless debit card allows countless families on welfare to feed their children rather than sending their money claimed by kinship demand for alcoholics, substance abusers and gamblers in their family groups. Mr Deputy Speaker, if that's not a reason to continue the cashless debit card trial, I don't know what is. I urge the House to oppose this bill, Deputy Speaker.
Thank the member.